Hakeem Olufemi Gbajabiamila. God bless you all.
And we are inviting the Honourable Minister of Finance, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and all other.
House invites Finance Minister, SGF, orders over $2.4 billion stolen crude and whistleblower policy.
And I hope that they will adhere to that timeline. This is a project that Mr. President is very much interested in.
And Speaker issues Julius Berger a 30-day ultimatum to complete NILDS headquarters. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the program House Ticket. The House of Representatives is still on recess from plenary, but activities are ongoing at committee level. On this episode, we will bring you a review of these activities, one of which was the Speaker's inspection of the permanent site of the National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS. Also, an investigative hearing by the lawmakers into a whistleblower's allegation of illegal sale of 48 million barrels of Nigeria's bonny light crude in China in 2015, and the external sale of commodity export from 2014 till date. Reports on recent moves as well as events revolving around the leadership of the 10th House of Representatives shall also form part of this episode. I am Kauthar Anumba Halil. Let's take a quick short break before the program continues. Please stay tuned.
The entire purpose of the legislative agenda is to direct our legislative resources and efforts in a coordinated effort to ensure the well-being of the individual in a life of safety and freedom. That is a high ambition, but it's well worth the effort. We have passed landmark legislation to fix our oil and gas industry, reform the police, and reorganize the corporate administration system in our country. We have considered and passed meaningful legislation that impacts all areas of our national life.
Welcome back. The House Ad hoc Committee on Oil Theft on Tuesday, 11th April, commenced investigation into an allegation of illegal sale of 48 million barrels of Nigeria's crude in China in 2015, valued at $2.4 billion. The hearing is also aimed at coming up with recommendations for legislative work on the Whistleblower Protection Bill, currently before the lower legislative chamber. The committee, therefore, summoned top officials of ministries, departments and agencies involved in the implementation of the whistleblower policy. The officials include the Minister of Finance, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and the Acting Accountant General of the Federation. Details of the hearing and other stories are presented from our studio.
Crude oil export in 2015, including crude oil export from 2014.
The House Ad hoc Committee on Oil Theft investigating alleged loss of over $2.4 billion in revenue from illegal sale of 48 million barrels of crude oil in 2015 summoned the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, the Acting Accountant General of the Federation, Sylvia Okoli Ebo, and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited NNPCL to provide details of remittances into the Federation account.
Honorable Isiaka.
The Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, who was represented by Representative Ibrahim Isiaka in his address at the hearing, highlighted the lack of transparency in the compensation of whistleblowers as well as their safety, and restated the resolve of the 9th Assembly to pass the Whistleblower Protection Bill, urging the panel to expeditiously submit its report.
While it is commendable that this administration introduced a whistleblower policy in 2016 and has confirmed recovery of significant proceeds of corruption from its implementation, the policy is without statutory backing and the receipts and expenditure of these proceeds. It does appear to conform with the constitutional provisions, and the payment of compensation does not appear to be somehow transparent. The recommendation of the committee, after its investigation, will no doubt guide the House in making an informed decision in considering the whistleblowers bill currently before the National Assembly, that is House of Representatives. The legislation, when passed into law, will address the myriad of issues associated with the implementation of the policy, as well as take adequate care and cure of the whistleblowers involved, which is very significant in the success of the policy and law when passed into law.
This committee.
Chairman of the committee, Representative Mark Billa, who accused the Minister of Finance of violating the whistleblower policy, also informed that there are allegations that the Attorney General of the Federation received funds from overseas without remittance to the Federation account.
The alleged loss of $2.4 billion in revenue from the alleged illegal sale of 48 million barrels of crude oil in China in 2015. The second mandate of the House involves an investigation into all crude oil exports within the period under review, and then also to investigate whistleblower revelations and recoveries and the compliance to the whistleblower policy. The Ministry of Finance has been approving payments to whistleblowers in percentages at variance with what the policy says they should be paid. There have been allegations of the Attorney General being involved also in the receipt of funds from outside the country without these funds being remitted into the Federation's account in line with the provisions of the Constitution. And there have been allegations that expenditure of these recoveries has also been done in complete violation of the provisions of the Constitution. And we are inviting the Honorable Minister of Finance, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, and all other stakeholders involved in the implementation of the whistleblower policy to appear before the committee to provide clarification on the operation of this policy and the approvals being made by the Honorable Minister of Finance.
In a turn of events, however, the George Ubo-led Whistleblowers Network besieged the main entrance of the National Assembly while the hearing was ongoing to protest the committee's probe into the alleged stolen crude subsequently sold in China for proceeds of $4.8 billion. The protesters, led by Peter Umo, queried the basis for which the House was investigating the matter, noting that it did not submit any petition on the matter to the legislature and that the matter was already in a court of law. They also expressed displeasure at the committee's refusal to include them in the list of witnesses invited to the public hearing, an action, they said, raised suspicion of vested interest in the matter by the House and the committee itself. It demanded that the committee hands off the matter since courts of competent jurisdictions were already hearing the cases. Reacting to the protest, Representative Billa dismissed all allegations made against his committee and the House, referring to them as spurious. He threatened to take legal action against members of the George Ubo-led Whistleblowers Network over the allegations against the committee. The investigative hearing was discontinued. House Ticket will bring you up to speed as events unfold.
Dissatisfied with the level of work at the permanent site of the Nigeria Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Abuja, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila Thursday last week issued a 30-day ultimatum to Julius Berger to complete the project. The Speaker was on an inspection tour of the project, which is estimated at over 50 billion naira. The Speaker, alongside the Director General NILDS, visited the permanent site of NILDS located along Airport Road in the FCT to inspect work done so far by the contractor, Julius Berger. However, the Speaker expressed disappointment at the pace of work on the project, which initially was to be commissioned in May 2019.
It's all about them doing the right thing, and I hope that they will adhere to that timeline. This is a project that Mr. President is very much interested in. He has done all he can to make sure that it's completed. In his tenure, he has dedicated funds, and I believe that we're not getting anything commensurate to show the funds that have been that has been sunk into this project. So the 30 days is, for me, whatever the last time I was here 2 years ago, this list was at 95%. So even if they've moved the needle a little bit and it's at 98 now, 2% shouldn't be a problem in terms of completion in the next 30 days.
NILDS DG Professor Abubakar Suleiman also bemoaned the level of the project, stating that all monies have been released to the contractor. He hoped that the project will be completed before the 30-day ultimatum issued to enable President Muhammadu Buhari commission the facility before he leaves office.
The Speaker is disappointed. We are all disappointed. This project has been on for years, and we got commitment from the contractor, Julius Berger, that once the liability on the project, as at 2 years ago, is settled, they will come back to site. As of today, I can tell you that we are not owing Julius Berger. We are not indebted to them. There's no any outstanding liability. And the pledge, the promise they made to us that they will move back to sites, they renege on their promise. And that is why the Speaker is furious that this project, this edifice must be commissioned in the next 30 days by Mr. President before he leaves office.
The program is still House Ticket. Ahead of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, the race for the seat of the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives is in earnest. Alliances are being formed across board, consultations made, just as a few lawmakers have declared their intentions to contest the position. To this end, members-elect under the platform of some opposition parties on Tuesday, 5th April, came together to form an alliance with the aim of determining the next leadership of the House. The lawmakers said they are leveraging on their numbers to work towards influencing the next House leadership. Conversely, a group of returning and new members-elect this time across political parties, including the All Progressives Congress, APC, with seats in the legislature, on Thursday, 13th of April, pledged to respect the decision of the majority party in the House on zoning of presiding officers' positions. Also, during the week under review, 2 more legislators publicly declared their interests to contest the seat of the number 4 citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let's take that report.
Members-elect from the opposition parties on Tuesday, 5th of April, came together to form an alliance with the aim of determining the next leadership of the House. The group, which consists of returning and newly elected lawmakers cutting across 7 minority parties at the meeting, adopted the slogan 10th Assembly Great Majority and pledged to team up to influence the election of the 10th House of Representatives leadership.
Honorable colleagues,
addressing the group during its meeting, Representative Bonny noted that the 10th House of Representatives will be the first where the opposition outnumbers the ruling party.
That for the first time in a long time, the opposition together has become the majority in the 10th Assembly. I believe that with our numbers, with our strength, and with our doggedness to achieve our common goal and purpose, which is to provide leadership within the National Assembly and play our role as a vibrant opposition within the National Assembly. It is my sincere wish and my sincere prayer that as we come together, to start this journey of unity, friendship, achieving a common purpose and common goal. We work together, define our interests, have a common understanding, and we forge towards this understanding to bring about good leadership, not just amongst ourselves, but within the National Assembly in the 10th Assembly.
Speaking on behalf of Labour Party, we are pledging commitment to this unity of the Great Alliance of 10th Assembly. I believe that we are all minorities coming together for common purpose to stand firm for overall benefit of us, irrespective of seniority, considering also the ratio in alliance.
Fundamentally, the reason why we had to come together, work day and night to see that we bring all the minority party, which is now known as from today the greater majority, together, because we also understand for us to be able to put through our collective interests, for us to be able to protect our ideals as minority parties, that fundamentally serves as a check to the ruling party. For us to be able to contribute to nation building, we must come together.
Chinwe Nnabuife, who is the only lawmaker elected on the platform of the YPP, equally pledged her party's allegiance.
We've all been called for a common purpose. And what is that purpose? The purpose for a better Nigeria. And that is why we've all been duly, by divine providence, elected to represent our various constituencies.
On behalf of our party, we commit ourselves to the cooperation, association, unity being formed here tonight. Our party has transformed from a majority party in the past and to a minority party. We are conversant with the issues, with the problems facing our country. We shall together sharpen the executive policies as they may be rolling them out and drive them to ensure that we give Nigerians that elected us the best.
Other parties that form the group include SDP, LP, ABGA, and ADC. In a similar move, a coalition known as the Joint Task 10th Assembly, comprising members elect from the APC, the People Democratic Party (PDP), and 6 other political parties, pledged to respect the decision of the majority party in the House, the All Progressives Congress (APC), on zoning of presiding officers' positions. The coalition, in a statement jointly signed by Representative Usman Bello Kumo, APC Gombe, Chairman, and Representative Kingsley Chinda, PDP Rivers, Co-Chairman, said the main focus of the coalition is to promote the independence of the legislature, the interdependence of the legislature and other arms of government, to legislate for good governance and grassroots impact, constituency outreach, equity and fairness among members-elect, as well as unity, equity and fairness in the emergence of presiding and principal officers in line with best parliamentary practice. It revealed that 283 members-elect, comprising both returning and new members, have already endorsed the coalition, which awaits the decision of the ruling APC on the zoning of the various offices. The group, which said it has the blessings of 14 APC governors, 9 PDP governors, as well as several National Working Committee members of the ruling and opposition parties, further informed that it is independent of the speakership ambition of any of the various aspirants, but with determination to build a strong coalition of members-elect of the 10th House in readiness to support the majority party zoning of the speakership office towards building a rancor-free and people-oriented 10th Assembly in line with best parliamentary practice. Other parties that form the coalition include Labour Party (LP), New Nigerian People's Party (NNPP), Social Democratic Party (SDP), All Progressive Grants Alliance (ABGA), African Democratic Congress (ADC), and the Young Progressive Party (YPP). Meanwhile, The number of contestants for the seat of the Speaker saw an increase as two more lawmakers, Representative Miriam Onoha and Benjamin Kalu, joined the race for the Speaker of the House.
That is the summary of...
During a media chat with legislative correspondents in Abuja on Thursday, Representative Benjamin Kalu, who represents Bende, Federal Constituency of Abia State, announced that he was joining the race just as he asserted that he has the capacity and competence to lead the House, having served meritoriously as the spokesman of the 9th House. He noted that Nigeria needs a speaker that has the capacity to achieve cohesion, national unity, inclusiveness that will bring everybody together for the purpose of achieving prosperity for the nation. The lawmaker equally called on his party, the APC, to reward his loyalty and sacrifice. Also, the member representing Mbano Onuimo, Okigwe Federal Constituency of Imo State, Miriam Onoha, Thursday last week officially declared interest in contesting in the speakership election.
To mark the official declaration of my intent to join the race to be Speaker of the House of Representatives at the 10th Assembly. I confidently yet humbly seek the support of my fellow members-elect and the prayers of the general Nigerian people for the office of the Speaker in the 10th Assembly.
Onoha, who harped on gender equality in the country's political space, called on all the male contestants in the race to step down for her in the interest of inclusion of women as well as youths in politics.
The emergency of the dwindling number of women in Parliament calls for a deliberate action, an action that will bridge the gender gap, an action that is a call for the leadership of the National Assembly to embrace the stance for a woman of competence and experience like myself. I therefore, honorable, call for my fellow contestants again to support me as a woman with competence, driven with integrity, vision, mission, and a true display of diversity, as well as inclusivity and leadership centered on equality and the capacity to deliver the needed dividends of democracy to our people. It is not possible for a man to speak for us on issues that bother women when we have credible and qualified women like myself. I am ranking. I am also of the All Progressives Congress. I qualify and I suitably am able to oust all the men on this contest. And like you are aware, in almost all, about 90 positions of this country, the men have dominated it. Ceding this one position to me will be a way of proving that we are running an inclusive government. And I use this opportunity to call on my other co-contestants, my male contestants, to consider the love and the care Nigerian voters have shown to them, and as a mark of honor, step down to support this woman.
With that, we draw the curtains on tonight's episode. Do well to join us again next week when we bring you a fresh report on happenings from the Green Chamber of the National Assembly. Enjoy the rest of your day.